I recently asked you guys on Instagram if there are any videos you would like to see, and I got a lot of requests for more photography content, which made me so happy. And specifically, something I got a lot of requests for were editing videos, editing tips, how to use Lightroom. So today I'm gonna be sharing some super awesome editing tools that you can use in Lightroom. Maybe you don't know about these yet, or maybe these will convince you to switch to Lightroom if you haven't already. Okay, so let's just jump right in. The first tool that is probably my favorite tool in all of Lightroom is the guided upright tool. So you know how sometimes you have a photo that no matter how you straighten it, it just looks crooked? Like once you get the horizon right, the vertical lines look off, and once you get those right, the horizon's going like this. For example, we have this photo of me standing in a doorway. This was shot in Lisbon, Portugal. Absolutely beautiful city. If you ever get the chance to visit, go. And as you can see, this photo just kind of looks skewed. None of the lines are really going in the same direction. Like once I get the steps at the bottom horizontal, the lines at the top of the image are kind of sloping, and the sides of the door are kind of sloping. So to fix this, you'll want to go into the Develop module, and on the right side in the adjustment panels, go down to where it says Transform. Click on Guided, and it's going to give you this little crosshair that you can take over to your image. And you're going to use this crosshair to draw lines on the lines that you want to be perfectly vertical or horizontal. And you want to make sure and reference the magnified square that shows exactly where your crosshair is for this. So let's start at the steps. They already look pretty even. I'm going to click on one side and I'm going to drag and create a line. Then next I'm going to go to the top of the image and I'm going to find one of those lines that I want to be horizontal, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click and draw a line following that line. And then boom, those two lines are made to be parallel to each other. So now we're going to do the same thing with the vertical lines. Go to one side of the image and find a line that you want to be perfectly vertical, draw along that as well. And what just happened here is it not only made that area of the image vertical, but it also made that line perpendicular to the horizontal lines that I drew. I'm gonna draw one more line on the other side of the image just to make sure it's all even. And I'm going to crop the image to make sure that that door is centered so that we really keep that symmetrical look. And look at that, look how perfect the lines of that image now look. And if you go down here to the left and you click this YY button, you can compare it to the original. Look at the difference between the two. The first one just looks slightly skewed to the point where it's not totally aesthetically pleasing, and the image on the right is perfect. If you've ever looked at Instagram feeds where it looks like every single photo is so perfect and straight and symmetrical, this is the tool that is achieving that. Okay, the next tool that is absolutely amazing is the Visualize Spots feature in the Spot Removal tool. So in the Develop module in Lightroom, you want to click on this little icon near the top right that's the Spot Removal tool. And once you've selected that, you'll see in the toolbar at the bottom of the image that it says Visualize Spots with a box you can check. And when you check that box, it will switch to highlighting all of the spots in your image, and you can adjust the sensitivity of this with the little slider. I most often use this tool to remove cat hair because no matter how hard I try, my cat's hair finds its way into every single photo I ever shoot. And this tool is amazing at picking out things like pet hair, fuzz, dust. If you're shooting a product image and it has little dust specks on it, this tool is going to tell you exactly where they are. And then to remove the spots, you just click on them with the tool and the software will remove them. The next thing that Lightroom is so good at is detecting and isolating hues in an image. You know when you see a feed on Instagram, maybe like a travel feed, and there's the same exact shade of turquoise water in every single photo? This is achieved in Lightroom, but that's not the cool part. The cool part is when you're in the Develop module and you go into the HSL editing tab, there's this little tool up at the top left that you can click on. And when you run it over your image, it will detect exactly what hue that area is. Because a lot of times it's actually very hard to tell. I find myself all the time thinking that something is green when really it's yellow. And when this tool is over the part of your image that you want to adjust, all you have to do is click and drag to adjust those properties. You can see in the right side with the sliders that they move as you drag your cursor, and it's changing the properties of that exact hue. So even if that hue is a little bit of a mix of something, like sometimes sometimes it will highlight 2 different hues and adjust them proportionately for that exact area of the image. Just make sure you selected the right property for what you're looking to adjust, either the hue, the saturation, or the luminance tab, and click and drag, and it will manipulate it exactly how you want it to. Before we get into the next Lightroom tip, I want to take a minute to thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. If you're looking to learn a new skill, Skillshare is an online learning community that offers thousands of classes to inspire creative and curious people. They have so many different topics like graphic design, productivity, freelance and entrepreneurship. There's tons of classes on photography. There's even a class on how to create a cohesive Instagram feed by Dale McManus. It talks about choosing a color scheme, a tile layout, editing, presets, etc. And Skillshare classes are short, so they're not incredibly time consuming. They're easy to fit into your routine. And the annual membership comes out to just under $10 a month. And the first 1,000 people to click my link down in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare's premium membership to explore your creativity. Another incredibly useful tool when editing in Lightroom is the reference photo feature. When you're in the develop module, in the toolbar underneath your image toward the left, you'll see this little icon that has an R and an A on it. When you click on it, it's going to allow you to view 2 different photos side by side. So you want to make sure that you have both of the photos that you're looking to compare to one another down in whatever library or catalog that you have at the very bottom of the screen. Click on the main photo that you're editing and then go find the photo you want to reference and click and drag that photo into the reference spot. The reason this is useful is if you're editing a big set of images that you want to have a consistent look, or maybe you're trying to match an image to something previously created. Like sometimes I'll take a screenshot of my current feed and pull that into the reference photo area to compare to. And that way I can see if this new photo will be cohesive with what's already in my feed. Do the colors match or complement each other? And then the last thing I love about Lightroom, well, not the last thing, but the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is that I can assign attributes to my photos. There are a lot of different ways that you can mark a photo in Lightroom. You can give it a star rating, you can give it a color rating, and I personally use the color rating to categorize and kind of rank photos that I like and that I don't like. Sometimes I go out and take a bajillion photos, and when I import into Lightroom, I have a ton of images to go through. So I start by just quickly breezing through them and marking all of the images that I think I like red and all of the images that I know I don't like blue. And then once I've gotten through the first round, I go up to the library filter tool and I select attribute and I select the red photos. So now I'm looking at just the images that I liked, and then I go through it again. It's like heats for a tournament, except the next time I go through it, I mark the images that I really like yellow. And then after that, I isolate all of my yellows and I go through it again and I mark the ones that I really, really like green. I think this is kind of just my own quirky way of doing it. I think everybody has their own process in their mind. But then something that I like about it is in the future, when I go back and I look at that set of photos, I know that the small selection marked green was my absolute favorites. So those are some things I love about editing in Adobe Lightroom. I hope that you learned something new in this video, or if you've never used Lightroom, I hope I've convinced you to make the switch. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video or learned something from it, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you know when new videos are posted. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.